I wanted to get to the other side of the whole Rockets-Nets equation because Kevin Durant spoke to the media today, and he was, of course, asked about James Harden. Take a look at this.
We all know all these James Harden rumors are out there. And he's been your teammate in the past. What do you think about him and what he might bring if they were to trade for him?
I don't think about James Harden at all. I mean, he doesn't play on our team.
I mean, I don't think about him. I don't think about him. I mean, I just don't. Where's the best landing spot, Harden, then, long term? Do you think it is Brooklyn? Do you think it's Philadelphia? Or do you think it's best for him to stay in Houston?
Rachel, if I could, I want to go off the board, and I'm going to say Golden State is the best landing spot for him. Hear me out, right? One of the things that Houston wants in return is high-value assets. We know in the conversations with Brooklyn, while we love Karis LeVert and Spencer Dinwiddie's a solid player, and Jared Allen's a nice big, those aren't high-value players the way that Houston wants in return. Golden State is one of the few locations in the league that can offer high-value assets and still give James Harden a realistic chance of winning a championship. Obviously, without Klay Thompson, that task is a little harder, but I think he fits in with what they would be building towards the future, and it would cost them, obviously, that Minnesota pick next year, very lightly protected. It would probably cost them James Wiseman, who, of course, they love and fits a need for them right now, but the ability to say Curry, Harden, Klay, Draymond as your top four, ooh, that's pretty hard to say no to if you're Golden State.
Look, Amin, I'm actually not mad at that. Okay, I'm going to probably stick with something that was on the board, but when you talk about Golden State, I think people don't give Steph Curry too much accolades in this regard, in the sense that he's probably one of the most low-maintenance superstars. He had no problem taking more so a media backseat to Kevin Durant and letting him shine, knowing that he is unguardable at 7 feet and one of the best offensive players in the game. So I'm not mad at you, Amin. I will say, though, when it comes to James Harden, I think it's been clear that the Rockets, there are many attempts to find a partner in crime for James Harden. Like, that time has expired, unfortunately. And plus, with fairly new ownership, a new GM, he needs a partner in crime. And I think now that the Nets are like a no-go, or I forgot who it was. Like, I don't know that woman. Was it J-Lo?
Right, right.
I think stuff like Mariah Carey once said that to J-Lo. Right, that's the vibes that I get watching that. It was Mariah Carey. You know, seeing big picture here, I think the 76ers could be really interesting considering his former GM is there in Daryl Morey. Plus, you know, that gives him a good chance to win, contend. And I do like the idea of James Harden and Joel Embiid together because Joel Embiid will give you, 23 and 12 in the paint. And James can give you 30 from the perimeter. Now, I know there will have to be a sweetener. I don't know if you can keep all the players in Philly, but I do see that working in Philly, James and Joel tag teaming. Even though Golden State, that was off the board, I'm not mad at it. I am looking at the 76ers and also Meek Mill's Instagram, since we're already talking musicians.
Absolutely. Well, there's a video clip of the woman giving like a deposition or something, and she's like, I'm sorry, I do not know that man. I do not know that man. And that's what I heard today.
Kiki Palmer.
Right.
Sorry, this man.
It's Kiki Palmer. Yeah, shout out to Kiki. But Rachel, I do want to point out something. You know, we mentioned Houston as a possibility. I think that thing is burnt. And this is very similar to what happened in Minnesota a few years ago, 2 years ago, however, 100 years ago now with this pandemic, with Jimmy Butler. And believe it or not, I think Jimmy and James Harden are doing the same exact thing. The difference is Jimmy's very confrontational, in-your-face style was to show up to practice, humiliate everybody, and then go do a sit-down interview with you afterwards, reiterating a desire to get traded. James is not confrontational like that. His way is to not show up, but then very publicly show why he's not showing up. It's not because he's working out at some gym somewhere. It's because he's going out and partying. He's making it clear to the Houston Rockets, who foolishly announced, we're prepared for things to get uncomfortable. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what uncomfortable looks like. And to be honest with you, other than the whole global pandemic, being at a party with no mask thing, that's the only part I have a problem with. But people say this time and time again about NBA players. Oh, that's unprofessional. You should have showed up. You should have done this. No, because he professionally asked to be traded weeks ago, and they did not follow through on it. So the next thing you do as an NBA player is you get their attention. And you get their attention by making things real uncomfortable, and that's what Harden did.
Well, yeah, but I'm not sure we can expect the franchise to make a bad trade. If a good trade hasn't been available for him, does he have the right to not show up to the beginning of training camp if they just decided, well, we're not going to make a bad trade, we're still looking?
I would say that you at this point, when you say that, you are taking that they're going in good faith trying to move him. And players
you don't
know
think
and
that
their
they are?
agents know. Whether it's, obviously he doesn't. It doesn't matter what I think.
Right.
He and his agent don't believe that the Rockets are trying their hardest.
I don't think he has a day-to-day agent right now, which may be part of all of the mechanics of this too, because we all know how trades get baked in the NBA. We will, of course, continue to follow this situation very, very closely. And the bottom line is that James Harden has shown up. I want to make that clear. He's not out right now. He has shown up, and he is going through the COVID protocol. So he is not holding out in any way right now. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.